All right. So, just a rehash of what you were saying before. You were saying you tried to sample something.
Yes,
Yeah?
I just tried to record my voice to
Yep.
create an ambient intro.
Yep.
So on our lesson 4, you used a sample of that you had, and
Yep.
so I wanted to create something like that I could use, but I kept getting gnarly feedback.
Yeah.
So I fell into a bit stuck with that, and also I was trying to figure out how you did the change things on the notes. So when we did the melody lesson, which doesn't have audio, I was trying to figure out how on the notes you made them like blend together. I kept pressing A as like the animation automation channel.
I know what you're saying. There was
Yeah.
a pitch bend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And I
Yep.
would love to revisit that as
Sure.
well.
Yep. No worries. All right. We can do that right now if you
Yep.
like. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'll just open this MIDI clip. It's got the organ on it. And we'll put one note there, and then we'll duplicate it. Go up like that. And so to access the pitch bend, you've got to come down to the bottom of the screen here on the left where there's a little tuning fork sign. And it says micro pitch expression editing just here.
Yeah.
So yeah, double click your clip. Yep. And you won't see it at the moment because you're in, if you look at my computer, you'll see there's two options here.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
one, the piano, and then there's like
Keys.
it's like a drum edit. It's more for drums, and it collapses the piano roll into more like for drum.
Oh, I see it
drum
now.
editing.
The fork.
Yep, that little fork. Yeah, so
Yep.
push that, and then it shows. Here's your notes. Oh, yeah. Shows that
Yep.
black line,
Yep.
and that you can click anywhere, like automation. So yeah, usually somewhere, like anywhere really. And yeah, like I'll just go like this and to drag it up to the next note, and it'll sort of glide up there. Yeah,
Okay, so then I can...
you can get nice and expressive with your notes and.
Okay.
Yeah, and another thing that's handy to know is you can press Alt. I'm pretty sure that'll be Option for you.
Alt. Option.
Yep. Hold that, and then it shows a little curvy sign next to the line. When you hover above the line, it goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then you can click and drag and make it sort of curve.
Oh,
Like that.
No.
So you might want it to go at the last minute, last little second.
Wait.
Yeah. Instantly more
All
interesting.
right, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's got more.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the feedback problem.
Yeah.
Do you understand what's actually happening there with feedback?
It's trying to record. I thought it was that I don't really understand what it is with feedback. I thought it was the air. You know, when I was saying I was trying to record the flame, and then I thought it was just the noisiness of the air. So I had a heater on in the room, and so I turned the heater off, and then that wasn't working. And then I was like, okay, it's recording. Maybe it's recording itself because the speakers are too loud or something. Okay.
Pretty much. So yeah, what happens is a microphone picks up sound, a speaker produces sound, and so the sound's coming from the speaker into the mic, but then the mic's also sending it to the speaker, so it goes round and round in a loop, and that's how it goes real quick.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it can damage things, ears, speakers.
Yeah.
So there's a little trick that in case that happens, it'll save your speakers in your ears. If you've got headphones on and that happens, it can be damaging. So essentially what I always do as a safety mechanism is just go to the master and then select a new device, brings up the browser, So you can do it on any channel, but I just put it on the master.
That's the master.
Yeah,
The master's here.
Everything gets sent to that before it goes to the speakers.
Yeah.
And then just type in limiter.
Limiter.
Limit. Yep, it's gonna limit it, and it's actually called peak limiter, and it limits the peaks from going above 0 dB, which is it's not quite 0 is actually standard level for what you would have on a CD or
Yep.
So so if a sound goes above that, the limiter catches it.
Great.
And I'll show you.
So you just have that on, right? So it filters any noise that's coming through. It catches and just says bum. That's
yeah.
cool.
I'll see if I can show you what I mean. If I put some gain on this, I'll turn the actual speakers down so there's room. So what I'll do is I'll go to the master and I'll just turn the input up heaps. See, once it hits that ceiling, which is set here, just under 0, once the signal gets hot enough, they call it, or strong enough, and then it hits that ceiling, it doesn't get any louder anymore when you keep going.
Caps.
Yeah.
Awesome. And also, would it be in the best interest to then, so I have a Scarlett sound card thing, and so then to disconnect that and just send the output through the laptop when I'm trying to record, or how do I?
What you should do is, if you're using, I assume you're using the microphone on the laptop. Yeah. So you just need to monitor the sound through headphones.
Oh, headphones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that avoids, because the speakers and the microphone are within close range. They're both in the laptop. Yeah.
Yes. Well, if I have my speakers through those.
Oh, you've got speakers. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So you've got your audio going through the Scarlett, through the monitors, and then the microphone on your laptop is picking up the speakers and creating that feedback loop.
So I need to disconnect the speakers or something?
No,
or
you just need to put headphones on, or turn it down.
Yeah.
That helps.
Okay.
Yeah, because the louder the speakers are, the more sensitive the microphone is, and
everything's gonna okay.
But the best way really is to just use headphones when you're recording a microphone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty standard. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really quite dangerous having a microphone right in front of speakers, but I'm aware of what's going on. So
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's good to know. I didn't. Consider that as
like a typical thing when you see in the movies and someone gets up to do a speech and it goes, it's because they're trying to make them look unprofessional and in the movie, and they're just. But what they're doing is that the speakers that might be on the stage facing the audience, say the audience is out there in front and the speakers are here and the stage is here and the microphone's here. They go in front like that, then the sound goes straight into the microphone. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll show you this little bit that I just replicated again. It's the same bouncy. I did it again. So this is the third time. So I find that, if I drill something, but then this is the only section that I have built on is the drums.
Right.
And then from here, I want to, build on everything else. But I just did this again. And so I went through, so if I just start my loop from here and move that over, I can just need to show one. I was trying to set up to create a thingy, so I was just trying to.
Yeah.
Well,
is that what you mean?
No, just that I have these scattered because I wanted to make other sounds to build a track thing.
Sure.
Together.
Yeah, just a bit of a sketch structure.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So a little trick there. See, I can see you're having a bit of trouble getting the loop.
Yeah.
If I was to try and do that.
I've got my wrong cursor on or something. Do I need a different guy or no?
Pressing number 1 does help.
Yeah, I had it on that.
You've got that on pencil now, so that's actually pencil is.
I don't
3.
have a cursor anymore.
Yeah, if you hit 1, it should go back to the cursor, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but it's a pencil up there. I don't get it, but
I think, yeah, that's because. Let me see. So you can toggle or you can switch. So toggle means it's on only whilst you press the button. So for me,
yeah.
I'm pressing 3 to get the pencil. But as soon as I let go, it goes
go
away.
back.
Or if you hit 3 and switch, it's a switch. So then you have to go again. And it's actually staying. So once you switch it, then if you want to go back to the cursor, you have to hit 1. And then...
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I
same
had
goes
going
with
on.
With
Okay.
the... What else is there? Scissors, rubber. Anyway,
Knife. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So to get my loop like that, so then I want a meh.
Yeah, the cursor helps because it snaps to the grid.
Okay, here we go. So I've got don't mind me, I just show my incompetency. Whoops.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to see if I can...
Why do I have that?
I'm just trying to get your sound from your computer to go in to my sound card, and it's crashing each time I change it. It just crashes. It's alright, we'll just have to turn your computer up.
Yeah, my audio's not very loud for some reason. I haven't blown out the speakers, but maybe it's just on.
We can make it louder in Bitly too.
Yeah, how do you do? Oh, from these ones.
Yeah, but also the master. We could just put like that limiter on the master.
Oh yeah.
Or just you can turn it up there.
This.
Yep.
Okay.
It's one way. Yep. And if it's still quiet, we can
sure
do something more.
Okay. So I'll show you what I've got on this. So I got excited with the what is it called? Where you adjust things and so,
automation.
Yeah. And so I did that on lots of things. And yeah, this is what I have.
Okay.
That's like this.
Well, that's heaps of volume. We've got the mic.
Yeah, it's
phone
right
on here,
there.
so that's cool.
So I wanted to ask, like, with the different, like the kick and the hat, if there was like particular sounds that they need to have within, like, how do I, hang on, how do I solo?
I think if you press S, it might unsolo all of them at once.
Just one S?
If you on the keyboard. No, it's not set up yet. Okay.
Like, does there need to be a particular sound that a kick should have, or a hat should have, or...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That had... How do I get in?
You've got the keyboard enabled, so your shortcuts are not going to work.
Okay.
You know, when you pressed M a minute ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you click that, clicking the keyboard back off, and then your shortcuts will work again.
My D. So, I don't know.
What are you looking for?
The thing that you can show, but I guess I'm getting a bit confused because it's just through here. It's on something else. I was thinking the automation.
It's a modulation.
Yeah.
That I think you... Oh, no, sorry. It is automation. These little blue dots
Yeah.
on the E-hat device show that.
But I think I'm just thinking visually of like when we've drawn things in.
Yeah. So the shortcut for automation is usually A. That's it. Or if it isn't, it is. Yep.
Yeah.
So then, if you want to see all of the automation for that, like I'm just going to quickly draw in some things here. Change pan and volume there, right? So, but if I want to see everything that's automated, you click this little star, and it shows all. So then we've got one lane for volume, in this case.
Aha. Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah. So that was... Yeah.
So
that's what I've got.
Yeah. Cool beat, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know if it was necessarily... And then I was trying... It's interesting, trying to then figure out what to do around that. And I'd love to pick your brain a little bit of, how you then formulate something of, because I'm not... my brain isn't... Yeah, it's trying... I don't think in keys and things. So then I'm like, okay, so if I want to do... Yeah, how do I don't know. How do I make a track out of that?
How do you make music from it?
Yeah.
Like a musical progression. Is that...
Yeah, where do I go?
Yeah.
That's it. Because now I'm getting stuck on a little loop of okay, I can make drum beats, but now I don't know what to do with them.
Sure, yeah. This comes back to a topic I remember having discussions with you a few months ago about structure and intros, verses, choruses, and sections and bridges,
yes,
things
true.
like that. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yep. So typically what I do, and a lot of people do, and it works quite well, is you create your loop, your drums, which you've done. Mm-hmm. Can I hear it again? The whole first loop or whatever it is.
I think that's...
Yep.
So I liked that because the clap I kept mucking around with because it kept being a bit crunchy and it was overpowering.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I wanted something that's going to blend in and everything's going to work nicely together. And it's, it's a bit cheesy. It's no, but it felt like everything has its space. It's blends.
Groovy. It's unusual, the placement of things, but it's groovy. It makes me want to move. I like it. Yeah. You like it?
Yeah. Absolutely. There's just the third tweak on it of just enough, so that the snare, so that da-da-da, and then it's okay. So then, it feels, it's nice when you can feel that of that feels like a whole. It's not all these little parts of that's, and that was a nice journey.
Yeah, cool. Well done. It's a big step forward.
Yeah, something. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so one thing that immediately comes to mind that would help you sort of feel like you're not getting stuck in a loop is very simple, and that would be to really feel like we should have it up on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Little thingy.
Yeah. Actually, I can just show you in mine, and then you can translate. I'll open something of mine, or
Yeah,
let's
because
see.
that works quite well. Like, if I can
Just
then
see-
copy... Yeah. Like, that's what I've done with this, is just like, oh, okay, that's roundabouts. Like,
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah. So, track sounds like this. And this is what I would call an intro because the kick is soft, the bass is soft.
But you've got your drums in the
The
intro.
drums are right there, yeah, because it creates room to remove them immediately at the first drop, and then there's immediately like a contrast.
Yeah, okay.
Which I didn't do in this case. The drums are still there. Right, so just give you an idea of the feel, and then I'm going to mute these other effects after it. Just let it play for a second. Right, so
So is the effects down the bottom?
yeah, I'm going to mute them in a sec. Okay, I'll mute them now. These low effects. And I'm going to mute the percussion. So we've just got the kick and bass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah. Right, so if we go to the intro, that's kick and bass and percussion group. And then, but the kick and bass is filtered. Now, this part here, this first drop, is more or less kind of the loop that you, like, it resembles what you've got going already in your track. It's like all in, all drums. You haven't got a bass line yet, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Assume you do. Oh, got to mute something else there.
What's the yellow?
Atmos. The Atmos.
Uh-huh.
All right, so what I'm going to do is just mute these channels, and then, well, actually it's not mute, it's deactivate, so they go grey. And then I can actually focus on just those. So we'll zoom in a little bit. And I'll open the kick and bass, and you can see what's going on there. So these are essentially all the same here. Percussion looks like this, and if we...
so you have your hat and your percussion. And
Yeah, they're all in this group.
Okay.
And let's just say that this was your loop, right? So this whole thing. I'm trying to get it optimized for...
Can I hear the percussion just on its own before you...
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
what that sounds like. It's okay. You've taken the ride. What's a ride?
That is...
Okay.
It's like a ride cymbal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a...
part of it.
That's not a snare? Is that something like a snare? Different, a ride cymbal?
It's a cymbal, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like a hi-hat, but it rings out longer.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it's just maybe it'd be a good idea to just show you what like a drum kit typically looks like.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So
So the kick is the big one that the one with your foot
yeah,
drum, kick drum.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Okay.
find
Okay.
a nice little drum kit here.
Well, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, this is a pretty standard full kit. So you've got kick there, snare here, and hi-hat here. And and you can open and close those hats, so you get the open close sound. This is the ride, which is a big wide cymbal. These are crashes. That's a splash. And you got your toms, different size toms, and this is a China crash. It sounds like a bit more.
And what's that big one
intense.
On the right? No, down the drum.
This one, that's also a tom. That's the floor tom.
Okay.
So tom 1, 2, and 3, and then floor tom.
Yep.
Yeah.
The kick and the one on the left?
Snare.
Snare, okay.
Yeah. Yep. So,
cool. Yeah.
I think that explains. I don't need to show you the sounds. You
No.
have the sounds in mind.
Yeah. So do you put those in like the crash and stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
so this channel here is my crash / splash, and it's actually a combination of.
Oh wow! And then them layered all on top, you get this whole.
Yep.
Cool.
And then I've got my hats, and they all actually come from different samplers. Actually, this one is just a fancy version of Bitwig's drum machine. And then the hats is also one of those, and I just go through the samples and select what I like and layer them or choose them according to what role they're playing. So in this case, if I open the MIDI, it's again just 3 layered ones, because that's just sounded good. That's the only reason. This one is called Perk, but it looks like it's actually a closed hat.
And a closed hat is an E hat?
Ah, this is the E hat. I can tell straight away. Yep, so you're familiar with that.
And that's also AKA close hat.
It's actually open and closing.
Open and...
with the decay that's being modulated there with the LFO.
Cool.
And then this is a different colour because it changes intensity, I reckon. Oh, they're just slight variations. It doesn't really matter too much. Then I've got a snare / clap, which is...
Yep.
Yep.
The snare and the clap are same kind of.
They play the same role in music, in this style of music, in techno.
So would you need to put like a clap and a snare channel? You can do that, or you can just do like you've done, put it in one.
What have I done? If I opened it up, I've got a snare sample and a clap sample.
That's nice.
So yeah, it is actually that sort of clappy sound and layered together. And there's a bit of distortion on it, but that's something we'll talk about another time. Then the ride is also a typical sound from a drum kit, but it's got a bit of volume automation on it, so it sounds like this.
Is that backwards?
Yeah, it's going loud to 0, so it's going up and down, and it's actually modulated over here in that shape. Real techno vibe there.
Okay.
And then this track here is, I just called it Bomb Dada Bomb because that's what it does.
Great. Okay, great.
If I open that MIDI, it just looks like that, and then in context, it sounds like this.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Just adds a little sprinkle. That's
It
lovely.
just keeps you moving.
Yeah.
Kind of, I think what it does is those few notes, and especially that last one, gives you, makes you feel like you keep leaning into the next beat, into the next bar. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
It's almost like a question, like, da-da-da, are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So without that, it's kind of be... Oh, let's start here again. It's still groovy, but
Yeah, I agree with you. I like a little flick on the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the percussion group.
Cool.
Kick and bass. Don't really.
Can I see what your kick and bass, where you've put your... Okay.
Yeah, let's zoom in on that a bit. We'll press Z, and then we'll drag these down.
Because I was trying to figure out how to do a bass. So this was trying to be a bit of a bass line. That's what I was trying to do there. But I couldn't. I just wasn't. Yeah, my brain started hurting, and I was like, I'll just take a break.
Sure.
And I didn't get back to it. So
Yeah, I'll show you quickly.
yeah.
It's pretty simple. You know, you can hear that the kick is just on every downbeat, and you can see that as well. Typical Boots and Cats. Techno
Boots
house,
and Cats, yes.
And the bass is actually falling on the downbeat and this offbeat and this 16th note here. So if we zoom right in on that, and then we go down here and make sure we're set to 16th notes, you'll see the grid lines. See the that. Go to piano roll, so it's familiar. This one beat, I'll loop it. So this first note's kind of on the... Actually, you know what? If I highlight both...
You can bring them both into view.
Yeah. You've done that before?
Yeah, I think you've showed me how to do that before.
Yeah, so it's a very simple rhythm. Just an 8th note and 2 16th notes, basically. So yeah, if do you think that describes it to you sufficiently, so we can get back to where before we went into the details? You wanted to know about structure, right?
Yep.
So, let's loop. Let's go from here. This is the first drop one, and this one, it's basically everything except the ride cymbal, if I'm not wrong, and the bomb thing. I'm just going to make a little quick change here because you see it's cut short. That's relevant to how I want to demonstrate how you can not get stuck in the loop and feel like you're making some music.
Yeah.
So just that. We're just going to feel our way through these few next bars. Nothing's going to happen. We're just going to feel it. A little bit of modulation there at the end of... You heard it on the bass.
End of the...
Just cut the bass out. Now cut everything except the kick, and now everything and a fill.
That's a bridge.
Well, that was what's the loop break. But no, it's not a bridge. It's a break.
Break.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, break, short break, and there's also a fill in it, and it's
What's
a
a
little
fill?
A fill like a FILL. It's a shorthand for drum fill.
Okay.
But
and what's a drum?
A drum fill is, like the you got the normal beat, and then you go. Right? That's a cliche fill.
Okay,
Drum fill.
Okay, cool.
In electronic music, a fill can be made of anything.
Oh.
Be made of silence even, or, when it's silence, it's typically called a break.
I'm going to just write this in my notes.
And having one of those at the end of the phrase, and then going back to the loop, is all you need to do to stop yourself from feeling like you're just going nowhere.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Because what it is a little moment of tension.
Yeah.
And then release.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, a drum fill is a moment of chaos amongst the predictable beat. Yeah. Because if you just have predictable beat for minutes after minute after minute, it's just going to get boring. So you need to throw in a little bit of chaos. And then everyone's like, oh.
And then you're
And then
listening again,
we're
and
back.
you're back. I
Yeah.
like it. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a form of contrast, and music would just not be music if there wasn't contrast, you know? Tension and
Absolutely.
release.
Yeah.
So whenever you get stuck, ask yourself, how can I add some contrast? And it could be simple loud versus soft, or
Yeah.
chaos versus order, or it could be left versus right. It could be reverb, or like reverb signal or no reverb signal. Also described by saying wet versus dry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Silence versus bringing it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll play it again for you. So this time I'm going to mute the little hi-hat fill, and it'll just be silence, and you'll see it's sufficient.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then with that crash cymbal every, what is it, 16 bars? And then a new element coming in, as in hats and ride, and away you go.
Beautiful.
You've just upped it in intensity, and it's not getting boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. Yeah.
And then it's a matter of doing that again in a slightly different way. Like down here, I've done something different, it looks like. Let's see what that sounds like. So what I've done there, if we solo...
Oh, that little bit. So
I've
that's
just done-
the bit that do.
It's a little fill. So it's just very simple. Like if we just loop this part that's normal...
Okay.
Right? This time, unloop it, and it'll put a little extra kick where the bass is. See, there's an extra kick there, and that sounds like this. Like it's as old as
Boom,
techno
boom.
is.
Yeah.
That little feel. You know, back in the 90s when you heard, like, I don't know, some trance at the top of the charts, it would have been going do 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 do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Simple. Yeah, but without that there, it's a little, you know, a lot more likely someone will get bored. Yeah.
Cool.
So it can be very simple. Back here, unmute that little fill. If I was to, that sounds like this.
Yeah.
It's very complex, actually. It's a bit of chaos amongst all the order. If I was to bring that over here...
At the same time as that, is that a bit...
It's going to be a bit weird. I don't know, but we'll see.
It's all right. Yeah. It gets I think, when it's got its moment to shine, like in that there's a lot going on. So then when you just solo, you know...
Yeah, totally.
It's more effective,
You've
but
got
it works.
Yep, totally.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. So, you know, you could get by doing that with what you've got. Just injecting little moments of little tiny breaks and maybe a fill.
Yep.
And then you'll get to like the 3-minute mark, and then you'll be like, what?
Yeah, that's going to be... Yep. And so a
2-minute
fill...
mark, maybe.
Okay, yeah. A fill you can make out of anything. So you would make that out of like a crash or other things, or make that out of an organ, or is there kind of... You were saying you can do it with anything, with silence or whatever, so... Yeah.
Yeah, it's called a fill because in traditional live music, the drummer would play the role of that moment.
Yeah.
But there's no rules now.
Drummer's not called. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, in this case, I've used hats, but it could, like you said, be an organ.
So that's hats. Yep.
That little one, yeah, it's just like a few little tricks in here.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a little saw. Like it sounds like a little. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to explore that a bit more, or you've got some other questions? Yeah, like in.
Sure.
All right. Well.
And also, I wouldn't mind while we're picking your brain on the Atmos thing, how you create an Atmos, because that's where I was.
Yeah, true.
That's where I was and in my process.
Sure. All right. Yep. Short answer is put reverb on anything.
Reverb. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
So, for example, just to prove that point, if I was to choose both of these groups, percussion and kick and bass, so everything we've just been listening to, and then make that its own group, we've now got kick, bass and percussion all in one group, right? So now if I go to the device panel for that and I get Bitwig's reverb, I think the best one will probably be their one that's called Convolution Reverb. And I put the mix all the way up. And then I darken it maybe. And then, I could simply create, I want to record this now. Let's see how ambient we can get this. So I'm going to go a new audio track, and let's just name this. This is, let's just say the all groove stuff. And then I name the audio channel all groove wet. We'll call it all groove, wet because it's got the reverb on it, so it's a wet signal now.
So reverb is wet.
Yeah. So
okay.
if we go back to the convolution reverb, you've got mix, right? And typically nothing, 0% means dry, so it's a dry signal, and wet is reverb. So you can think when you're in the bathroom, you're singing in the shower, your voice sounds better because it's got reverb. That's a wet signal that's on top of the dry signal. It's dry in here because we've got all this, absorbing. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So I've made a little audio channel to record what's coming from that channel. So what I need to do is go to this is a good trick for sampling things.
Can I just... Oh, so you just added audio like that. Okay,
Yep. So once I select that, once I've created that audio track, I select it, and then over here in the inspector panel, we've got input and output. We want it to go to the master for the output, obviously. For the input, at the moment is actually thinking that's where I'd plug your computer in normally. So to hear your computers, that would be stereo input under audio inputs. But we want it to come from the all groove stuff because that's what we're going to record. So we're going to go all groove stuff, master. Pre means before the volume, post means after the volume, convolution out means directly out of that reverb, so we can choose that. Press record. That should do it. So now if we listen to that back, we've got it there, right? So now it's a matter of...
That's cool.
I think what we'll do now is maybe to disguise it from having any beat at all. I'm going to grab that reverb and I'm going to now put it on the already wet signal, so it's even wetter. And I'm going to listen to that. But this time I'm going to reverse. And I'm probably going to mess around with the pitch and things like that. So we could try bringing it up. And we have to go into stretch mode. And if we were to like do some nice gentle pitch shifting. And if that's not ambient enough for you, you can always add a delay. And this is, I would use delay plus. And with ping pong mode, so it actually creates an echo that goes right then left.
Great.
And put the mix right up. Put the feedback up, which is related to the feedback we were talking earlier. If you have it up too high, it's...
Yeah, I've played with that a little bit. It
Yeah.
goes...
And maybe we'll turn the brightness of that up.
Nice.
Maybe turn the tuning up. So nice. And yeah, I could use that in the intro and the breakdown and wherever, really.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we get there? What was the question?
I asked you about
Ambient?
the Atmos.
Atmos channel. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, if I was to wake up that channel, that Atmos channel, we have a listen to it. Where did I get that from? It's actually an ambient style plugin. Yeah. So that was just me being efficient. But if we go to the animals one, this is a bit more interesting.
Yeah. So that's a whole nother
Group. Yeah. So I've got sounds in here that I made. I tried. This is like a bird sort of sound. Or a dinosaur.
Bird dinosaur.
Yeah.
Great.
A pterodactyl.
Yeah.
But without this distance thing that's actually made up of a reverb and filtering, if I turn that off, and that's the delay there, so turn that off. It's just...
Wow. Raw. That's great.
Yeah.
That's quite fun in itself, isn't it? Like, that's quite... And then you put everything... And it just softens. It gives it a really...
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
I've made the sound in here using some experiments and stuff.
Yeah.
And then...
Okay.
Then I've made
Play in there.
this distance preset I built myself. And basically, if you look inside it, it's got this DJ style EQ, which we can get rid of. And it's got a simple volume dip. And then, but the magic happens with this reverb. This is Bitwig's other reverb. And in the wet part of the signal, you can add effects. And I've added a filter in there. And then I've created this knob here, which controls watch. It controls the mix on the reverb, so it goes from dry to wet, like that. And also, as it, let's turn off the reverb, as it turns the wet and dry up, it changes the filtering and makes it sound more distant because there's less high frequencies. I think I need to turn that.
It does sound far away. It sounds like it's in tunnels.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
Wow, okay.
getting less frequencies and more reverb.
And
then you can
so that's what you're hearing, the reverb sounds.
Yeah. And then with the delay on it, which without the reverb sounds like this.
Yeah.
But if we put some distance reverb in there.
That's so nice. That's fun. Yeah.
And then, you know, that's one element. We've got, I've got some forest insects here, which is similar. So you can see I've got my distance and reflections, and then I've got a little patch that sounds like crickets.
Wow.
Or insects, which sounds like this.
That's great. Almost sounds like rain. Like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Insects in a puddle or something.
Yeah. and there, another spooky bird sound I made. Also got distance on it. That's like the key to this group of... Sounds like an owl I was going for. And yeah, so all together, during the intro, if we go back to our full group bass thing and ungroup that, we'll be back to how it should be.
Yeah, that's fun. It's a lot for the ears. That's good.
There's another sound in there.
What's that? Is that
squeaky
the
one. Which one is that?
insects? That.
Oh, I don't see it.
It's not your insects.
No.
No.
It's this
the
one.
yellow?
Light forest canopy.
Where's that? Where does it?
That's just, it's designed to
wow.
create notes
That's
without
lovely.
notes from
There's-
the MIDI.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a ghost. You mean there's no...
Yeah, so
Oh,
you can build...
I saw a video on this the other day, I think,
On
and
Bitwig?
like, yeah,
yeah,
and-
generative.
yeah.
Generative, what is
I
it called?
think so.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
So these essentially replace the MIDI notes.
Yeah.
So it becomes kind of automatic, and I've built it to sort of do randomness and probability. Yeah. It's super fun,
Great.
that stuff.
Yeah. But you can't see it on your thing.
No, not until I record it to audio, which I could totally do if I was to just go like this, highlight a bit and go Control B for bounce,
Oh, yeah.
bounce the audio.
And then it's recording.
And then
So it's doing like random, it's doing its own.
now we have it in audio.
Yeah.
And then
That's
reverse it.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool reversed, actually. And then when the audio's finished, it'll go back to playing the synth. Which is, yeah, random. So each time you play it, it's designed to play something slightly different.
So, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do have MIDI notes in there, but I don't think they're doing much. They're just hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bridging. I've already got a little marker there because I've determined that up to that point it was enough to start thinking about a break or something different, some kind of contrast.
How long is that altogether?
If I right click here, I can put in show real time ruler, so 4 minutes.
Okay.
But this is a sketch, so
Yeah.
if you want to hear it all the way through, I'm more than happy to unmute everything and show you.
So yeah. And how long did this take you to put together, roughly?
Well, I spent a fair bit of time on the kick and bass because I really wanted something groovy and fresh. And
okay. And then everything built around that. So
once
that was your foundation.
I did the percussion, and then I just started bringing sounds in, willy-nilly, pretty much. But a bit of intention. It's bush techno. I'm trying to explore that genre with my own flavour, and so that's why the animals from the Forest project are in there.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. Like, those sounds are very, like, Pspiralife. Like, they're
they're quite psychedelic and from the Forest genre influence. Yeah. But we're at 126 BPM, so it's a whole different vibe.
Is that generally what bush techno is at?
I think it's more around 130, 132.
Yep.
Yeah, or 128 even. But
like
I
a
don't know.
prog? Is that a prog sound?
Prog's more like 135 and up to 140, yeah. But it can, But I was in the mood for something really slow. Like, this is a house kind of tempo.
Okay.
Yeah, 126, yeah.
It doesn't sound that slow. Like, it's got a lot still going on in there.
There's also something that's giving it a fair bit of groove is the feature or groove.
Yes.
It's got shuffle on it. So if I was to turn that off, it sounded straight.
Okay.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Feel that?
Yeah. I felt it. I don't know what I'm hearing, but...
I'll just put that in mono. Yep. Turn it back on, and we go no shuffle, so it's straight. It's more like what Psytrance does.
Yeah.
But if I increase it, it's that. Yeah, exactly. Makes you move.
Yeah.
It's funkier.
So, yeah. Interesting.
So I have it on high. A very subtle 30%.
Yeah. Ooh.
Notice there that something got muted, right? It was this Atmos. Leave it out for longer. So that's another way you can keep things going and
take bits out.
Take away something for a bit.
Yeah.
It comes back in again here. That's what happens down here. The bird comes back.
Yeah. Yep. It's nice you've got that layer.
I'm thinking though that break could have happened around here.
Okay.
Probably going on a little bit too long. Yeah, so I might just go. See what happens. I haven't listened to this for a while.
Is that a break or that's just a fill? That was a break. That was a break, which is a fill, right? But not a bridge. Because a bridge is...
Yeah, well, this is technically what I would call a breakdown.
Yeah.
I suppose. I'm just going to label that now. Now we're building up again already.
Yeah.
And we introduced a new sound there because, after 3 minutes, it's probably worth it. So, yeah, we had a break with the kick and bass just before the end of that section, which then started the breakdown. So simply just muted the kick and bass.
Yeah. How do you just mute a part like that? Like, do you just section that and just...
There's a couple of ways. You can right-click. I think mute's in there somewhere. Yep, muted.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
But I use 0. And see over here, there's a button for it too.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But the reason I use 0 is because that's what Ableton uses, and I had it already in my muscle memory when I used to use Ableton. But yeah, you can change that to M. Oh, well, the reason it's not using M is because M's for the MIDI keyboard, remember?
Oh, that's true.
So, yeah.
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, it's sounding good. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had more time to dedicate to this, and would like to make an EP out of that style.
Okay. Yeah. And you're feeling it's... Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time.
Let's
Probably on the clock.
Nice.
Yeah, perfect.
Anything else?
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I think it's